Welcome back. We're going to examine Every Second of Life is Strange, and we're kind of in the middle of Chapter 4 right now. First, we're going to look at those whales. Those whales are a plot hole. I don't know whether anybody else cared enough to even notice that, but at this point I had been thinking about the plot quite a lot, so let me go ahead and lay it out for you. When we went back in time, and we changed something 5 years ago, and then we saw what had happened, the side effect of doing that appeared to be whales. There were whales in the alternate reality. They were dying. However, when we came back to this time and decided not to make that change, there are still whales dying. That means that reducing the amount of changes we make to the time stream doesn't reduce the amount of damage that's happening to the universe. And this is when I started to have to seriously think about what was going on, because if we can't reduce the damage by undoing our choices, then reverting the time stream is useless. And I thought to myself, oh, this writer isn't going for the revert the whole time stream ending. He can't be, because reverting the time stream has been shown to not help. The world is still disintegrating at the same rate in both realities. So maybe the universe is disintegrating either way. Maybe the disintegration of the universe is giving us the power, or maybe our power permanently disintegrates the universe regardless of whether we don't, whether we go back and undo that. Either way, we can't revert the universe. It's not going to change anything. We've been shown right now that it's not going to change anything. Unfortunately, it turns out that they just dropped the ball. They didn't realize what that meant, at least not to me. So, in the end, it was an interesting thing to see, because when I saw it, I was like, okay, they're not going for the reversion ending, because if they were going for the reversion ending, this reality would have to have less damage, so that we could see that undoing our changes causes less damage to happen.
I hate seeing those poor whales like that.
I bet I peeked to the mic talking like that.
Think of their families in the ocean out there looking for them.
Either way, the real point of this particular scene is to kill Frank, so let's get to it.
What? You'll actually shoot him? Chloe, do not count on my rewind.
Max clearly thinks that her power is causing harm to the universe, but she's going to go ahead and use it 800 times anyway.
About time.
I am so going to hit you. There's no way we could have guessed this is what would happen to us when we grew up.
Well, you wanted to grow up to be pirates. This is pretty close.
Go on a road trip to Portland.
Fuck yeah. You, me, and Rachel.
Absolutely. So let's play this cool, okay?
So I like the emotional pieces to her performance here, both the animation and the dialogue. But I also like the whole sequence. This is a very well done sequence in terms of the dialogue that these people give. Every piece of dialogue has an arc. The characters all have different goals, whether subtly different or quite different. It feels like there's a natural progression from point to point. Even though the blocking basically doesn't exist, it still has some sharpness to it, and it generally feels pretty good. So, I endorse this scene. It's a good one. Plus, it gives you a chance to kill Frank in many different ways, and that's always fun, too.
So now we have to see Frank all the way out here.
So it doesn't matter whether you choose to knock or have her knock. She always knocks for you.
Oh, look. The Wonder Twins.
That's a really old reference. What is that, the 60s? The 70s? Jesus.
Yeah, we're bodyguard. So let's get to business. Where's my fucking money?
So we've got a bunch of different options here, and let's go ahead and keep the money.
I don't have the money. Yet.
Oh, really? Then why did you text me that you did?
Because I wanted to tell you in person.
Oh, I'm truly touched, Chloe. Now why are you losers really here?
We just want to ask you some questions.
You have some serious lady balls.
The blocking is actually quite different depending on whether you give him the money or not, at least for that section. But the actual outcome is basically the same. Now, people do get through this without shooting Frank,
We're not here to get high.
but I like shooting Frank. I think that he deserves to be shot. Not like permanently in the chest or anything, but maybe just a little winging. I think that would be good, right? Actually, he's pretty well likable. This conversation is a little bit annoying because there are right choices and wrong choices, and it's pretty clear when they happen. But
Listen, Frank.
we're going to just take the right path through, the quote-unquote right path, just so that I can accelerate through it next time, because I can't skip it the first time through. If this game ever needed a mod, that one would be it.
For that, Frank. I just need a little bit of information.
Yeah, well, it always starts with just a little. And Chloe here knows all about that, don't you?
Dragging the third person back into the conversation is a good pacing mechanic. That camera cut was very strange, though.
Frank. We did Frank. This is so much bigger We're only here to talk.
As with all of the other choices, this choice also only has one right option. I don't like these kind of conversation puzzles. I guess it's okay in a game where you can continuously rewind time, but having a right and wrong conversation option is just lazy. Since it's just a way to punish people who can't read your mind or who want to do things a different way than you intend. It's much better to have several right options that are just right options in different ways.
Is that why you're really here?
Yes, we're so close to finding her now, Frank. We need all the help we can get now, especially from you.
You and Chloe do not know Rachel like I did, and I couldn't even help her.
Yep.
You're in way over your heads. Why don't you just go play in your club?
That is pretty much what we plan to do. So, all of these different options are, I don't even remember which one's the right one. We do know that he has a bracelet, a photo. If we tell him about the letter or the photo, he'll probably think we snuck into his RV or something. But we know about the bracelet.
You have Rachel's bracelet. You obviously know more than you're telling. So tell us.
Never come into my home
No,
and tell
that was
me
the wrong
what to
option.
do. Understand? Man, there is something about you that is so wrong. I don't trust you at all.
You should trust your instincts. I'm basically a
You
monster.
don't have much time, Frank. Rachel needs you.
It's too late. She's gone. You don't even know her.
Like you did? I loved her, asshole. And she loved me. I know that.
Chloe, you don't know shit. You were part of her problem. Always trying to take her away from me. Always.
Calm down, Frank. Let's just talk.
Don't you ever tell me what to do. Get it, bitch? Get it?
Step the fuck back now!
Papadoo! You fucking killed my dog!
Oh my god!
So here's another plot hole. Remember, we have superpowers. We can rewind time, and anything in our inventory stays with us.
Oh no! Chloe.
I just shot a man and his dog. I killed Frank Bowers.
You saved my life, Chloe. It was self-defense for both of us.
Max? Frank is really dead.
Only for a bit. I'm not gonna let him
Can't
actually
stop
die.
now. We have to find that code. Fast.
Before the cops come.
That's it.
Give it to me.
Let's get out of here.
Give it to me.
I'm sorry.
Put it in my hand. Give it to me. Oh, come on. You're just forcing this to be a dumbass puzzle. Oh, for
Chloe
fuck's sake.
actually killed Frank. She'll never forgive herself. Or forget this.
Because we can't tell Chloe to hand over a piece of paper, we have to go through that dialogue sequence over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And while I do like it, I don't like it enough to make it into this kind of puzzle where the solution is painfully obvious and should happen naturally. But instead we don't get to do any of that, and we're just forced to end at this nonsensical bullshit.
Basically, I can tell you for a fact that this will not go well. That's just going to be the kind of one. So tell me exactly what you need to do. You won't like this, but you need to get rid of that. No, that's not at all. I just do. And go really fast.
Look, the money, please. She come alone.
She's a
Yeah, bodyguard. So let's get the business. Where's my fucking money?
Frank, you don't have to see me. Could you close the door?
You ain't gonna need your scaring my dog. That figures. Okay, there, you're safe. Now what do you want?
Just me.
Oh. Yeah, yeah.
There's no.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on,
Right.
Frank.
Holy shit. Yeah.
That's...
As you can see, it's rather a tedious puzzle.
Yes.
You and
You're supposed to move through it piece by piece. I basically chose the right option each
What are you
time.
hiding, Frank? You should want to help us. not
It doesn't
scare us.
really matter. In the end, all we really want to do is make him angry.
You don't know me or who I am or what I can do. You understand? Huh? Man, there is something about you.
I guess that's
that is
also
so
not the right
wrong.
option.
I don't trust you at all. Now get out of my...
We don't have much time, Frank.
It's too late. She's...
Down, Frank. Let's just talk.
Don't you ever tell me what to do. Get it, bitch? Get it? How do you like my blade, kid? Huh?
Whoa!
Chloe!
Get off of me!
Motherfucker!
You're both fucking crazy! What do you want?
We just want the code for your account book.
There. Now leave me alone, all right? Just get out of my life.
Do you want us to call an ambulance or...
No, thanks. You know what? I'll manage somehow without the police.
Oh, right.
Let's bounce.
Now, I could go back and do it the right way, I'm sure, but Frank deserves a little bit of stabbing.
Okay. Shit. This could have gone way worse, but Frank might be more dangerous to Chloe now. Yes,
So
Max,
Frank
you can change all
actually
this if
has
you
a
want.
bunch of funny lines there, but I couldn't hear them because Max was too busy talking to herself. All right. That is 15 minutes, most of which was me talking about plot holes. So I think that we're at the part of the game with the mechanic I like the
Chloe.
best.
Are you okay?
We'll see.
Sorry, I just keep thinking about Frank.
Please don't. You saved us. Frank is lucky. We have to keep moving forward.
And you know what? We still have $5,000.
Better focus on this board and start tying these clues together.
Now let's talk to Chloe.
Hey, Max. See if you can put together all those Rubik's clues. Just holla if you need any info while I go online to make sure we haven't missed anything.
So this is the Rubik's Clues puzzle board, and I really like this. This is an approach that more investigative games might consider, and I think it is a definite alternative to the sort of Phoenix Wright-esque puzzle hunting. What happens with this is we go ahead and look at a set of clues that are related, and we try and find the pieces that are interconnected.
Let's look at Frank's drug deals during the week of the party.
Now, in the end, you do have to get the right set of options. You do have to put together A, B, and C in the way that the game designers intended. It's not like this is a freeform investigation. But this is so much better than Phoenix Wright's, search for the clue, and then when you find it, it's found. And then when you're in the court case, you have to press the right number of times. And even though you think something is obvious, you have to present a different clue first so that it's obvious. You know, that stuff is really dense and hard to... unless your player is psychic, there's a lot of times you're going to just bash your head against a wall. Whereas this, you can actually look and see what things you're trying to relate. Obviously, in this case, we are trying to translate the account book.
Local dealer, but I doubt Rachel was carrying drugs for him.
No, she was probably just carrying her own personal stash.
Maybe Rachel took a road trip with Frank, but she did come back. So, what happened to Rachel after this? So weird how close they were. But Frank, Rot must stand for Rottweiler.
So if we're trying to translate who got which drugs when, then we're going to need his account book and a way to translate the account book. So if we look at the account book, you can see that then the client names are encrypted. And here's the cheat sheet. So we select those two things, and we move those over into a new location. What we've done is we've ripped this account book together, we've ripped this account book apart, and created a new set of pages. So if we look here, we're trying to find Nathan's stuff. That's Rot. There are a couple of other names in here that we know and are kind of interesting if we want to look into it. For example, Bulldog. But Rot is the one we're really looking for. The question is, when did he buy drugs and which drugs did he buy? Well, we'll get back to that. First, what we're going to do is move down here to David's clues. Now this has got 3 things we need to put together rather than just 2. So what are we going to be using to figure out where Nathan was over the course of the week? Well, this seems like a pretty likely option, so let's go ahead and select that. Let's look. But what we're going to need is some way to know which of the thousands of pages of things is Nathan. And as you can see, there's license plate numbers at the top.
Look at all these license plates. I hope he was tailing Nathan.
So in order to figure out which page we're trying to use, we're going to go ahead and use license plates. But which license plates? Well, we have a couple of license plates on record.
With Rachel, or is he just paranoid about everybody?
Trying to figure out what happened to Kate.
Maybe he was trying to help Kate.
A lot of these are obvious chaff, and that's good. It lets you get things done a little bit easier.
At least David was finally going after the right suspect.
But what we need is a license plate number, right?
David really has been on Rachel's ass for a while. Of course.
Oh, it's still hidden.
Proving David sucks as a detective.
I wonder what it says. I can't read it. If you know what that says, let me know. I'd love to know what it says. What will help us figure out which license plate is Nathan's? Well, maybe it's that one.
And that's all she wrote. Please let me find some clues about Nathan in here.
So now we have pictures of the cars that David was trailing and pictures of Nathan's car. So we'll be able to figure that out. Look down here.
I have to analyze Nathan's messages. What could help me unlock this phone?
We need to be able to figure out what will unlock the phone. Well, the phone, obviously. We got 4 options, 3 more. That means we just have to get rid of some of them. And, you know, we're just going to go ahead and select some at random here.
Okay, Max. Let's blow this.
I selected the right ones. That one feels a little bit more hit and miss than most of the rest. Now we are ready to start with some new investigations. If you say so.
crate. Now, how do I find out which car is Nathan's to match the coordinates?
Gee, I wonder which car is Nathan's.
Who does this car
Do you think
belong
it's
to?
Svixtender? Or maybe it is
Interesting.
Tugelzigend?
Is this Nathan's car?
Well, if we look at the picture of Nathan in
course
his
Nathan
car,
drives
we can
it.
see that it's got some damaged bits. So we'll go ahead and select that, and then we'll select this. And we know that the license plate, this is the one that's got the damaged rear bumper here, the license plate is Sixtfinter. So we're going to go ahead and pick whichever page is
Let's find
Sixtfinter.
out whose car this is.
So that is the correct page.
Oh, yes. Now we're finally getting somewhere. Chloe, let's plug in these numbers and see if they lead to an actual address.
Aye, aye, Captain. Here we come, Rachel.
So we're looking for rot. So let's find the pages that have rot on them.
2 deals with Nathan on the same day. Party supplies, no doubt. Frank sure keeps customers satisfied. He opens the door. Everybody had database guy. That's one's a lot. I'm getting a contact try just reading this. I wonder if Frank would give me. If Frank would like this kind of Rachel's wife, I want to talk. Oh, yes. These are all the times and places for Frank and Nathan's deals. That's it,
I can
Max.
see you know how to rock that big board.
You bet. So I really enjoyed this. I think that this feels good. This is it's hard to, I mean, you're watching me do it, and it's probably not as interesting when you watch me do it, but it feels good to do it. It feels good to put this stuff together. So here we see that most of these are 4-digit numbers, and there's one 3-digit number, 542. I wonder if we'll need this 3-digit number later. But we got all these 4-digit numbers, and we don't know which 4-digit number we're supposed to use. And it's actually a trick question, because the 4-digit number we're supposed to use is not shown as a number. It's August 29th. So we're going to go ahead and unlock it by using August, which is the 8th month, I think. Yeah, 8th. And what did I say, 29th?
Score. Now let's check out all the messages from the week Kate was drugged. Yes. This is... Nathan was jonesing hard, drug dealer drunk. God, Nathan. So it was you. No, Nathan. It's time for you to watch out. Is this from Nathan's father? That's brutal.
This was made one day before the party, and it's to his father, but his father doesn't have an icon. So that's kind of interesting. You think your own dad would have an icon on your phone. And this is the last piece. We're going to need to find 3 pieces out of all of these.
You can find out where Nathan took Kate after the party.
So if we look at the party flyer, this is October 4th. So we're going to basically just be looking for things that happened on October 4th. If we look at this, we can see that this happened on the 7th. This happened on the 7th. This happened on the 4th. But it doesn't seem particularly incriminating. This happened on the 4th after the party. This is much more likely to be what we need, but let's just take a look. Yeah, that's not the same day at all. So we need this. Now we also need to see where he went on the 4th. And we have Frank, what he bought on the 4th. I guess we'll do first. And there is the 11 p.m. On the 7th. 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 Oh, there's a 4th. 5:40 p.m. I think the 11 p.m. is more likely to be what we need. Yeah. And this is where he went. We got a whole bunch of pictures from the internet, mapped him to all the places he was tracked to, and we're trying to figure out where he went at roughly 11 p.m. on the 4th.
Nathan wasn't looking for Bigfoot in the forest. Somebody is stocking up on gas. Why?
Well, this did happen on the 4th at 9:54.
No doubt that Nathan stays in his dorm room. So he could be hiding. Not much out there.
There we are.
Chloe, this is definitely the place.
Let me dig up some more clues here.
And that is what I like. I liked that
Nothing else.
element.
There's
I would
nothing
have
here.
loved to
Just a
see
shield barn.
a lot more of that. I would have loved to see more of that in any game. It feels like there is the heart of a really, really great 3D investigation game.
Somebody named
It's just,
Harry Aaron Prescott.
it doesn't quite exist in this game. It's just not quite there yet.
Should we call the police?
Fuck that. You know the police here are like Nathan's private security, right?
That's so messed up.
As you've noticed, this whole town is messed up. We can't trust anybody.
Yeah,
Except
we
each
can trust.
other.
There we are.
So we have to go out to that farmhouse by ourselves.
All right, let's do that.
I was afraid you'd say that.
Now, as you might expect, we are not going to be doing that in this particular episode. This episode has gone on for half an hour, thanks to my ramblings, and I'm sure that you are sick of it. So we're going to cut this off and go to the farmhouse in the next episode.
We will. But remember, my power isn't infinite. We still have to be careful.
I forgot how long this dialogue
Do you
goes on.
hear, Chloe?
Yes, sir.